Hey guys, what's up? It's Coach Lori with Coach Ty, episode 43 of Keeping It Real with TNL. Today we're going to talk about some things we've been hearing from new members, friends, people in the community about things that have been going on with personal trainers, functional doctors, things that will hopefully help us address these issues. So for whoever's watching, wherever you are, you know the expectations you should have before getting started with a professional coach, right? So yeah.
Absolutely. I completely love that. So Lori had obviously told me about something that happened here in our local area, a conversation between a coach and a client that was obviously not the most professional. We're not going to name names, but we're definitely going to dive into that. And Lori brings up such a great point is that with so many personal trainers out there in your area, it's always hard to know what who to pick and why,
Yeah.
because obviously things vary. It depends on your goals, it depends on your personality and what you're obviously ready for. And yes, it is nice to have a multitude of coaches, but with that, you're going to obviously find some deads. And so that's why we definitely want to go over some of the things that you should definitely look out for when looking for a coach, and some things to actually look for when looking for a coach, and give you guys some tips of how to make some good informed choices, because your health is something that should be taken seriously, and the person who's helping you on that journey should be someone who you could trust, someone who always has your best interest in mind, because at the end of the day, this is you that we're talking about here. Don't just go with the person because you heard from someone else that so and so was good. Make your own judgments, but listen to what we have to say first.
Definitely. All right. So first of all, I will be the first to admit, and I'll just say it out loud, like I hold everyone to the standard that I put out every day, which is a lot, right? Like we were just talking about this too. Like even on 5 hours and 7 minutes of sleep last night, I love coaching 6:30 a.m., running parties, doing stuff like I expect a 10 out of 10 from everyone in my life, which is probably hard for my husband and daughter. But I feel like you and I are like that. We work hard, we give 100%, and we expect that other people do. And not everyone does. But the one thing I'm just going to start with fresh out the gate is if your trainer, coach, functional doctor, regular doctor, whomever you're going to for some level of healthcare, right? Like we know at our gym, like we are healthcare. Everyone in our program that comes in with any kind of illness leaves without that illness, without that diabetes, and without all the extra weight they wanted to lose. So they're crushing it, right? You must never accept like any form of verbal abuse. So for this coach to tell someone they looked fat and swollen, like someone from a movie, like from Willy Wonka, okay, I can't with this. So I'm starting to get upset. I'm gonna hold together. Your coach should be honest about everything with you, because like if I come in and I'm like, hey, I didn't lose any weight this week, and Ty's like, well, how was your food? And I'm like, oh, it was kind of good. But then I had 3 martinis and just a bite of cake. Ty's going to be like, well, honestly, that stopped the fat burning process, and that's likely why you didn't lose weight. But what Ty should not do is be like, that's why you're so fat.
Yeah.
Like I'm hearing what coaches are saying to people, and I just want to die because they're not even smart enough to know how the body works, why it's hard for some people to lose weight, why some people can't lose weight unless it is strict, no carb, no sugar, no processed food, no seed oil, which we should all be adhering to anyways, right?
Absolutely.
So I mean, am I being dramatic because I'm a female and I used to be really fat? And if someone said that to me, I would have been like, oh God, I can never leave the house again, I think.
Yeah. So no, so I like how Lori completely split this up. There is a difference between honesty and verbally abusing somebody to get a point across.
Yeah.
And obviously, that line varies from person to person. But obviously, the person who was told that was clearly offended, so the coach does not know the audience, and that leads me to believe that that's probably just how they talk to everybody. Which, if that's the case, then that is just being an asshole for the sake of being an asshole, and that's not cool. Now, yes, obviously, you want a coach who is going to tell you the truth. You do not want a coach who is always telling you, hey, don't worry, we'll try again next week. It's going to be okay. Oh, you just ate a half a pizza and drank a liter of cola? That's fine. We could try tomorrow. That's not someone who's helping you. There's a clear difference. But if the response is also, you fucking fat bitch, what are you fucking doing? Are you serious? You don't know how to stop this from going to here? That's crossing the line. Now we're getting someplace else. And obviously, this is why you guys want to make sure you have somebody who understands that clear in the middle of, hey, these foods are obviously not helping you. These are going to continue you on the path of weight gain, which is the reason why you came to start with me in the first place. If it was me, I would definitely not be eating that. And this is going to continue to keep us losing our opportunity to get the results that you're here for. That's the same way to handle something of that nature. You don't have to criticize to the point that it insults, because that does not work for everybody. And especially if it's someone who's paying you and someone who's obviously built trust in you, and you feel that you could do that, you have no idea how much you could sever that relationship between you and that client in that moment. Despite how much good may have come prior, that's going to always be there. And then the fact that that client, obviously, it affected them to the point that they went and told somebody else, now your name is getting spread around. So that's two things that you did wrong. You hurt that individual, and then you hurt your own reputation even more.
Yeah.
So those are things that you got to be cognizant about, like we are dealing with personal trainers. Now,
It's a hot mess.
no, absolutely.
I couldn't imagine anyone in my gym as a coach, just one of the coaches of personal training or doing on ramps, saying anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be terminated on the spot. I mean, it wouldn't happen again here, but I think, some people, they just lack the ability to, they're just doing something they're really not meant to be doing. Like if you can't handle someone's, falling off the path and then getting back on the food, or if you think that this is like when Montel Williams used to have the boot camps and people send their kids. We talked about 90s TV right now, early 2000s.
That's it.
Like if I wanted to be screamed at and called a piece of shit and whatever, and like pushed down on the mud doing push-ups, I would go with Harvey.
Yeah. There's
yes. Where you expect it. But when I am begging for help because my health is shit and I'm not happy with my body and I've gained weight or I've lost too much weight, whatever it is, and someone's like, well, you're just like, well, I don't know why I didn't lose weight. And maybe they didn't really know why they didn't lose weight. And they might have been perfectly. Yeah. I mean, but if you're not really educated in nutrition, and if you're like still on that calories in, calories out, and tough love or verbal abuse puts them in line, like you kind of really have to ask yourself maybe if there's a different vocation for you.
No,
I
agree with that. And so Lori and I both come from a law enforcement background, so we understand the time for that kind of boot camp mindset. But that is when the goal is to try to break an individual to rebuild them into something more that they've never been.
Yeah.
And so there's a time and place for that. Like she said, the military, the police academy, when you're getting into things of that nature, where you need to become a person, and verbal abuse and trauma is a way to get the old version out, and getting somebody angry usually produces action.
Yeah.
So that is usually why that is used in those environments. But let's get out of, I'm in the army, or I'm a young freaking 20-year-old who needs to get whipped into shape, and I am an adult woman who probably has a full-time career and home and everything that I need. I'm not that person. We're not in the boot camp. That type of mindset won't work for them. There are clients where that may work for, but you need to know that as a coach. You obviously, the coach should know what type of client they have, and the client or the individual themselves should know what kind of coach they need to motivate them. But clearly, this was one where none of those things were actually met, and it was a complete issue.
Yeah.
So let's kind of talk about something else that Lori had kind of touched on. But as MetFix has been rolling out, it's that has basically rewrote the book on health nutrition. So that said, you're still going to be coming across a lot of personal trainers out there, what I like to say, living in the Old Testament.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's the Old Testament of either they still believe in the classic five or in the classic pyramid of what it used to be. There's those type of health nutritionists who are going to tell you to eat grains and breads and carbs and stock up on those. Or you're also going to deal with those who, like Lori said, who just tell you calories in, calories out. And if you want to lose weight, then you need to starve yourself. I've heard it all. I've heard everything in between that. So we are going to basically lay out what we have found helps for multiple age groups, multiple sizes, multiple levels of health and fitness. And by us adopting this style of food, we could at least say we've seen changes on all of those groups. Lori has clients who are 80 years old. I have clients who are in their 20s. We're able to create changes on all levels in between that with this particular way of eating. So let's kind of dive into that. I'm gonna let Lori just kick off with the basics since she's kind of the MetFix pro. But when it comes to food, what's the basics like?
Well, literally the carbs off the couch really sums it up, right? But MetFix. But let's dig deeper into that. I like macrobalancing. I've done it before, but I also couldn't lose weight past a certain point because not all carbs within that macro category that you're balancing are created equal. So to me, across the board, now we've have 3 programs running right now, and do you know what percentage of people in the programs are having success? 100%. 100%. There's not one person that's not losing weight if they're trying to do it, not gaining muscle if they're trying to do it. No, I'm not, because I put together all the metrics and sent them to Pete at MetFix because we're looking at data. So like everyone's making gains even beyond what their goals were. Their body's changing in ways that they hadn't even put in their intake. So for one, we do a very big, I created all the intake forms, right? But for all the different things, perimenopause, osteoporosis, like weight loss, metabolic dysfunction, diabetes, GLP-1 use, like I want to know everything about you and I want to see your blood work. That's that. So getting back to the food, we've got protein, carb, and fat. And really you only need 2 out of the 3, and that's protein and fat. But a lot of people are in the Old Testament, like the woman who owns a vegan restaurant locally that I met that was like, do you want to try this food? I was like, no, thank you. I'm carnivore. Oh my God. Are you worried about your cholesterol? I'm like, no. Well, I only eat vegan because I don't want to get bad oils. I want to keep my cholesterol like down in the low 100s, which is not healthy. Your brain, I mean, it's a whole other story. People still don't get it. So until there is one test linking LDL cholesterol to heart issues, it's a moot issue for me. I really give a shit about your cholesterol. I want to see the HDL and triglycerides. I want to see a nice ratio so I know the good things are good. That speaks to how you're eating. But even those that were like uncomfortable with their cholesterol, higher number, once we got off the carbs, the sugars, the seed oil, and the processed foods, that number comes down, right? So when you're eating protein and fat, your body can make the glucose it needs and put glycogen in the muscle from beta oxidation, and ketones will give you the energy. That being said, people that are carnivore and ketogenic can cycle and still get carbs through vegetables and a little bit of berries here and there, right? There are people who do carnivore with berries. You know, a few. I don't. I just like carnivore. It's great. And then every 3 weeks, I'll have vegetables and maybe some macadamia nuts and kind of jolts up the thing. And it's working wonders. I mean, without trying to lose weight, I lose weight, right? Health is good. So I think when we understand what food is doing in the body and what's necessary and what's not, we can help people who are metabolically challenged to roll that unnecessary body fat off. And that's the kicker, which we'll throw in the other thing I heard last week. After a follow-up cycle with a member in one of our programs, this person said, I want to tell you if it's a guy or a girl. Wow, this is the first program I've ever done out of all the past trainers and programs where I've actually lost scale weight. And that's like one of the biggest goals. And they always told me I was just building muscle.
Oof.
So that's twofold. One, you just talking about. Two, you just don't understand food. If you're telling someone, like, if you're macrobalancing and you've got like 60 grams of fat and then like 120 of protein and 100 of carbohydrates, what's making that 100 carbohydrate?
Exactly.
That's the moneymaker or the deal breaker. And I think no one talks about this, right? Yeah.
So I was going to agree with Lori to the T right there is number one. When you're looking for your personal trainer, if they don't have a base in their program where you talk about food and health, that to me should be a red flag. Yeah. Because me and Lori, with our time in this industry, she's been in it longer than me, but I'm coming up on almost 6 years. Yeah. And in that time, I know nothing happens unless we first talk about what are you eating, yeah, and what do you need to start to eat. Yeah. That's the truth. So if you're going to go, if anybody starts out with, hey, I got this 30-day jumping jack program. If you do 30 jumping jacks every day, you're going to lose weight. Take that and throw it back out. It's how Ty told you to do that.
The 30-day jumping jacks.
Like I hear all these little things, but if the coach doesn't say, hey, at least within your first session, what's your diet like? What's your protein like? Do you have snack foods? Are you still drinking alcohol? Things like that are just easy questions where even if they know a little bit of something, not even what we know, they should help you out. But obviously, when you come to us, that's where it starts. That's why Lori said, first thing is my intake form. I need to know where we're at and who I have here so I can actually give you the service and the value that you need to accomplish your goal. That doesn't happen if I don't know what you're doing 24 hours a day with your food. Yeah. So that's number one. And then kudos if they teach you guys anything about keto or carnivore or even the slow carb. Those are diets that we've obviously used and trusted and tracked, and we could say that they work. So like I said, those are the three things that I would definitely first. I mean, that's the next thing that I would worry about when I'm looking for a personal trainer. Do they have any base in nutrition? And did they even ask you about that when you came to meet with them?
Yes. The caveat is like registered dietitians or nutritionists are still in the Old Testament. So that's usually a red flag for me.
Absolutely.
You want to hear another Kaiser story?
Oh, let's go. I almost wish that we had like a little sound effect for like a Kaiser story, like a little thunderstorm cloud or something. Like, here comes some rain on this terrible day. Yeah. More Kaiser stuff. Oh, yes.
So like in the throes of being super, well, I don't know if it's allergic to wheat itself or the FDA approved glyphosate neurotoxin that's sprayed on wheat and most of our crops now. But I could not do the grain. Right? I could not do it. And I went in and it was thyroid issue. It was way back when. Thyroid's still a little sluggish. But it's always hard to know how bad it is because they only test a few markers instead of all of them. Like, I'm going to test the TSH and a free T4. Can we get a ball? Like, if you're going to take the blood, like, go the distance. Yeah, let's go.
Is it like a ball that just rolls and they just pick out a couple?
It is. It's almost like a hopper.
Yeah, the hopper.
For CrossFit, it's a hopper. Oh, today we're going to do pull-ups, push-ups, running. Oh,
damn it.
Burpees, no moving. So I take the time, and it's still like $90 out of pocket with insurance to go talk to a nutritionist. She knows everything. And by the end of the conversation, she's like, you should be vegetarian. And I was like, and back then, no dairy either. That was make my stomach really sick and sinus stuff. It was horrible. And I was like, but I can't eat like grains or dairy. So you want to just have like spinach and berries? Like, what am I eating? Some beets for for energy? Like, where are we going with this?
Yes, we do.
So I like took stuff and I left, and then I called and complained, and I got my $90 back. So I was like, "Who be a vegetarian?" Who is it? Dr. Ben Bickman is like the most, in his opinion, and healthiest way of eating or is vegan, and I don't disagree with that at all. Because if you've taken out dairy, I mean, what's left?
Yeah, there's nothing else there.
Holy cow! The healthiest people who are in our programs, who are all metabolically flexible after a good 6 to 8 weeks of slow moving them in, depending on if they're So a lot of diabetics and pre-diabetics. It's like it's an epidemic at this point, right?
Yes, it is.
Crazy. They're all metabolically flexible. They're all eating protein, probably 1 gram for the pound that they would like to weigh, right? That's to me, that's like the Bible of it. And they're all like on a scale of 1 to 10, started 1s and 2s, and now they're all 8, 9, and 10, 6 to 11 weeks, 12 weeks in, depending on where they are in that program. So you can't really, like at this point, I would love to argue or like have some politically driven, nonsensical, like media bullshit discussion on health and nutrition from them. And then you're just like, you're looking at people and you're like, I can't argue with you because 100% of the time, even before I tracked like all the data, like I'm thinking over 10 times like that, I'm like a crazy person now to really show people on every level, subjective, blood work, nutrition, weight, body fat on the scale for the STIQ, like they went from at risk to like fit, all the stuff now. Like even with just my clients, before I was like really uptight about all that, like they're new people now. They're not sick anymore. They're, any kind of health problem they had is in the past, and we don't look in the rearview mirror. So I really can't argue with the vegan restaurant that was a vegetarian, so I don't. I was like, you love that.
Yeah.
And I just move along and go get some steak.
As it absolutely should be. But Lori brings up some more very good points here with number one, you are going to be dealing when you're dealing with personal trainers is that people have their own opinions about how they feel, and they will allow those personal opinions to out trump what science or anything else may tell them because of what they feel. So how that separates us from the stuff that we preach is we're right. No, we are right, but but I'll be honest. So this is what I would say one of the biggest differences with us is that the small group programs that Lori's running here, the time that we spent with our own personal training clients and the consistency, I would say that those times in these programs have been more accurate than probably the majority of the experiments that we hear and read about that are published.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. Because when they do a program like we're going to do a test to see if red meat causes a raise in insulin. And so they'll literally pick 100 people and they'll have them, text us what you ate every freaking 4 weeks. And we'll just write these numbers and say that something happened. And that's
We trust it.
Yeah. And so, yes, we completely we completely trust these scientists, and these scientists are blindly trusting these individuals who they interviewed for 15 minutes. And you don't even want to know what kind of individual you have to be to get a letter to be involved in a science experiment. Because I'll be honest, I don't really get those. They're not looking for people like us. So
it's true.
They are selected too for a reason, because they don't want people like us to find them and figure out what the truth was.
Yeah.
So
don't get stuck in the propaganda machine.
Exactly.
Don't do it.
So on the other hand, our programs, we have a set time period. We have set goals. We take actual measurements at the start. We take them as it's going on, and we take them through the middle. We check what's going on in your body. We check what's going on with your strength. We check what's going on with your overall general mood and mental wellness. Because all three of those, we plan on improving.
Yeah.
Even though it may be a quote unquote health only or that, we still feel to heal the whole body, you must heal the entire body.
You must.
That begins with everything. So that's kind of how I have the confidence in what we've done, because I've seen it carried out to a scientific method of how the process has been. We know we have all of our workouts planned. Everything is structured. All the diets are structured so we could truly see the result that takes place if living this way for 13 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, there's no arguing. We know that they're working out. We're the ones who made the workouts. We know what they're eating because we're the ones that are checking the food. We know the results that they're getting because we're the ones who have to. Yes, we run it. So technically, we do more work than a lab scientist at Harvard on his or her project, and don't get half as many fucking kickbacks in the process of doing it. And not only that, we could speak with confidence. This does not work within a certain group. It doesn't work if you're black, but not black. It doesn't work if you're white and not white, if you're fat or skinny. Everybody who we've put through what we've come up with has gotten an improvement in their overall health across the board. That's what we're trying to say. And I would take those results from a science experiment to say, damn, well, if that's the case, something must be right here. Yeah. Like, what are we really arguing that you guys have got this result among different age groups, different races, different genders, but yet they follow this, and from where they started and where they're at now, there's been an improvement. Yeah. I would say that that's hard to not only repeat, it's hard to find anything that well systemized to get results.
And I'll point out, a third of the group are super busy individuals with inconstant schedules, like in the medical field, nurses or whatever. One's pregnant, right? We have all these with a young kid at home. Like, it's not like we're dealing with San Ramon like housewives that are just like, oh my God, I'm so bored.
Yes. Well, I don't
these people are fucking busy. One works in a lab. Like, you have all these different people, and it's the same with my personal training clients. No two are alike. No one in any of my programs or my clients have the same like parameters for their nutrition. When I say that it's customized nutrition, like, that's what we're doing. Because if I take a diabetic and I'm just like, and they're like in the throes and the cravings and they're not feeling well and the blood sugar issues because they're not on medication, like, I want to kind of stabilize, get that slow carb, roll out all the shit, get their body used to coming off of it, and then make a choice. Do you want to be ketogenic? Do you want to be carnivore? And if they're women dealing with perimenopause or menopause issues, I definitely recommend carnivore. 100% takes care of all the symptoms and aches and pains and, restless nights and all the things, libido. It takes care of all of that. So, and then within that, I sit down and I ask them what they like to eat and their cooking habits. And then I write out 2 weeks worth of meals that they can pick and choose from to make it in a crock pot, Instapot, cook the 375 game, right? Where there's 4 things in the oven at the same temp and you just pull them out 10, 15 minutes apart, depending on what it is. And this is what I do for them, because if it's not sustainable in their real life, then they're not going to do it.
Exactly.
It's just that, like, personal trainers are like, oh, fucking time for that. You have to have fucking time for that, because it's how we get them there. Like, who am I to teach them nutrition and talk about the Ross hypothesis and do all this stuff and then be like, just fucking go cook some food right now. Right? Like, so,
No, and Laura, like I said, this is true. Like, this is what is out there, is that there are coaches who don't think that this is helpful or this is a necessary piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
When we basically said this is the foundation of the puzzle.
Yeah. If
you don't have this, nothing else matters, because I know that me and Lori beat the hell out of this horse. This stallion's getting tired of getting hit, but I'm gonna say it: you can't outwork a bad diet.
You really can't. No, I know.
And also,
it's resistance, and you can't outwork a bad diet. I'm like, but for the people that are like, oh my God, I don't get it. I look pretty fit and I'm diabetic.
Doesn't matter.
I only have a little bit of rice, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of alcohol. Let's do a quick aside on alcohol. Because people, I get it. Oh, I just had a sip or 1 drink or 2 drinks and the scale jumped up. Your liver is super important. So, like, you have 2 brains. Your brain and your stomach is your other brain. It's that simple. They work together. They talk when you don't even realize it. And then there's your liver. It's like, hey, guys, I get rid of all the bad shit and filter out your body and keep that process going. So every time you drink, I mean, everything that it does for the, managing glucose, and then your pancreas with the insulin, all the stuff is like really important. And when you drink, even if it's just half a glass of imported red wine, which I've been known to do in the past, but it is sober October. Cara Thompson, BSI Med Society. I've been on that. I've been loving that. It's great because you never have to think about it. But I digress. Let's say November 1st hits and I have a drink. We feel like shit November 2nd. I'm a little puffy, a little bit inflamed. And every time the scale jumps up, you're not going to burn fat for about 24 hours. It takes about a day. Even if you take the liver detox packets, the milk thistle, liver detox tea, all the life hacks to lessen the blow, it doesn't act as if you didn't drink. So for a lot of people, that's an issue. It's also an issue because of like fatty liver disease from alcohol. But then speaking of the liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is on the rise too. And that's from your carbs, seed oils, processed foods, and sugars. So if you're a Weight Watchers person and you're on the point system and they tell you a McDonald's burger is X amount of points, you're eating shit food, staying within your points and wondering why you're not getting anywhere. See what I did there? With math.
With math.
With that, I didn't have the points, but like I get 75 points, and 70 of them were at a Big Mac meal, but I still got 5 points. Why am I not losing weight? Why do I feel like crap? Why am I inflamed? Why do my ALT numbers never improve? My liver's going downhill.
This would literally be the equivalent of, let's say that you at one point had a great car, and then you started filling it with corn oil, and it doesn't take corn oil. No. So after a while, you noticed it was sluggish. Okay, that's fine. So you go to the shop and you speak with the person, and they say, well, you should have been using gas this whole time, but we have this system here that allows you to put corn oil, but just a little bit every day.
Tiny bit.
What do you think is going to happen to the engine? Is it going to get better or not? Yes. As Lori just said.
Not to be a Debbie Downer.
Yeah, you're still putting corn oil, and it's not meant to run on corn oil. So you're not ever really fixing the problem. You're just lessening the fucking poison. But the poison is still in there. And so if it's so bad that now it doesn't function properly, adding more corn oil, taking away corn oil isn't going to help it function better. Yeah. We're going to have to do something to get it back to functioning how it needs to be. And then maybe in a year, if you want to talk to me about corn oil, we could talk about it. But by then, you probably wouldn't want it anyways. So, and that's how come I love that. What we do here, we find out where you're at, and then we immediately stop what is causing the issues and begin to get it out of the body so we could get it to the point it needs to be where it could start to win across the board. Yeah. Because that has to be done. You're always saying, like, if you're in metabolic dysfunction, it doesn't matter what's taking place until we get it back functioning. Yeah.
It's like, and I mean, think about, like, we do hard things all day, every day, right? We're just like going for it. Sorry. Should we tell everyone really quickly? It's probably 65 degrees today. So I have my down jacket on my legs, but the heater's working. This is like hashtag California problems. 65, I'm freezing it. So you have to, right? It's true. It's like, oh my God, 65. I used to live in Nevada. We talked about it. Like -2. And today I'm like, oh God, I lost the finger. I'm down to 9. It fell right off. So damn cold. Oh my God. Ooh. Cerebral problems. So if I'm just going to make up a fake person I've never met, but a family comes into me and the mom and dad are looking to get healthy together, but they have a disabled child at home, an infant, and a teenager, and they both work and they're doing the best they can by just door dashing or grabbing food. Because damn, one kid, we just say 2 people working with 1 kid. You don't even have to make it harder than that. Life is difficult with time and traffic and accidents and getting everywhere. So my goal is, how do I make it as easy as possible? It's always going to be work. You're always going to have to get into the kitchen and make food for a family. But how do we make it less of a pain in your ass so that you're not losing family time or time with your spouse? Or maybe you just want to take a bath because you haven't had a moment's rest. I feel that, right? Like some self-care. So how can Ty and Lori and our other coaches that are working in these programs and our future coaches, because we're hiring from MetFix, how will they be able to talk to someone and know on the fly what they need, right? Just like we do with personal training clients. All your clients train differently. Yes. All mine are totally different health needs, whatever. And so I can never plan out the week of training with them. I have to talk to them. How are you feeling? How'd you sleep? Once they start loosening up, and then, okay, we're due for one of these 2 lists. Let's go, da-da-da. But yeah, you have to be ready to do it on the fly. Yes. Because people can't be like, okay, get back to me in a month when you put together my eating plan. Exactly. But you have to be able to do a plan. It's not just like, can you macro balance for me? They're like, fuck, I can't even count to 10 without I can't even, like, the calculator's hard to find on my phone. I can't macro balance. So then you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to tell you what to eat and how to combine the food on your plate and what to leave out of your meals. Yes. Tell me, do you want to know how to, like, cook stuff in a crock pot or Instant Pot so that you can just put it in, go to work, and it's right when you get home? Yes. You want to talk about food prepping? You got to grill. You want to grill like X amount of chicken and burgers at once and just like put them in containers and be ready to go. Like ask them, and if your trainer can't do that for you, then how are you really going to get the help that you need to be successful for life? Because you're not going to your trainer to lose X amount of weight and learn how to eat just to go gain your weight back again. No. I mean, if you are, you got a lot of time and money to yo-yo and spend, like, yeah. Don't you want to know, like, the once in a lifetime weight loss challenge is the last weight loss program you'll need because you're going to know exactly what to do for the rest of your life to have the best health and be your best self.
I love that. So, guys, and that's what I was going to say on top of that. The stuff that we are giving people, it's stuff that is going to stick with them and last a lifetime. Yeah. That's what I love the most. That we are not giving you a 4-week, it only works here. What you're gonna leave here with, I don't want to lie, like I would basically call this the defy of freaking of, of health, because you're leaving with skills that you could actually immediately begin to implement with your own family, with your own children, and with everyone else around you. Because that's what we send you back into the world with a new outlook on what health is, with a new outlook on what real food is and what fake processed food is, and a new understanding of the hell that it causes to everyone who gets caught in the trap and doesn't start fixing it. And like I said, so I completely love that anybody who does any of our small group programs can literally go out into the world and literally begin to change lives, almost like a cycle for what we have. We know it works. We're that confident. Yeah. We'll put our money where our mouth is, and we'll freaking out train and out coach any other program or trainer who thinks that they could do it better. Yeah. And the last thing, we're going to end with this. When it comes to a personal trainer, I am not saying this. I'm not saying the trainer needs to look always the part, but they should definitely appear to be practicing some kind of health. Yeah. They should at least, they shouldn't be showing up with a Dr. Pepper and a sandwich to train you.
Oh, God. Could you imagine?
I absolutely can imagine because I've seen it.
Mickey takes bag and a big go. You're like, what? Okay, yeah.
No, I'm not.
That's a hot mess.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. Well,
I'm not going to tell you that you need to eat like Lori, who's lost 100 pounds, or Ty, who's lost 200 pounds, or these people who have carried out these amazing things. Those are who we are, which is why we do what we do. But at the minimum, the person who is coaching you should have health at a focus in their life, and it should be visible to you as you look at them. It's very simple. Just like you wouldn't go to church and the dude on there, works at freaking Chippendales, you're going to take him seriously. Because he's out just swinging his penis around. You're like,
you're not going to. Yeah.
But Sunday,
he's playing.
He's playing the part.
What in the sermon is happening?
Yes. Is this going to come off at the end?
Can my kid be here too? Yeah. What do we that bring dollar bills?
That is literally what it is like having an unhealthy trainer. It's like fucking Chippendale pastor on Sunday, knowing on freaking Saturday he was wearing that banana sling, just swinging. I had to put it up there. So that said, make sure that that is something else that you think about with your trainer. Make sure that they actually live somewhat of this lifestyle too.
Like, honestly, if you run in to Ty or me or Tim, I'll just speak for the three of us because I can speak for the three of us, not everybody else, because they'll speak for themselves. You run into us at a restaurant, you're not going to see the chocolate cake with the sparkler hanging out.
You're not.
You're not going to see like crab dip with bread appetizer. You're not.
You're not going to catch me at Red Robin with the onion ring tower.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. I just
can't see it.
Can we talk about the Whiskey River chicken sandwich I ate in the 20s?
Can we talk about the bottomless fries and alcohol?
my God. No, literally. Yeah, that was decades ago. 48 and a half. I think the last time I indulged in that was in my early 20s. And it wanted to read them. Okay. With Kitsky, right? Am I right?
Yep. I would say it's probably around that. Well, probably almost the last one. Read Robin in Nature, probably 2014.
Yeah. Remember the little ad? Yeah. Oh my God. That was a New Ring Tower. No, or before at the grocery store, you could look at our card.
Absolutely. I almost welcome it. I would love, if you catch me at Costco or Safeway or anywhere else, if you see me out there, please be like, Ty, I saw the podcast. I want to see what's in the car.
Yeah.
It will not only blow your mind, but then you're going to hold your head down like.
Actually, they're going to buy themselves for dinner.
Well, yeah, probably. But
they don't be ready for it.
Then you're going to know that the true secret is consistency.
It is.
Every day.
It is. Yeah. That's something else. I have another point of something. Oh, last point, because I also heard from someone that the coach insisted she eats weight. She sent pictures of her meals for 2 weeks and gained weight because he doesn't understand food. Like you really can't have that many grapes or sweet stuff. Or, there's a carb issue that a lot of people understand. Like I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm doing rice and boiled chicken for a cut phase, which would never work for me because rice for me is a bulk phase. One sushi roll is a 189 CGM reading, right? Crazy. So the point is this, you don't want to keep going to the doctor because they never fix you. And then they put you on pills and you need that forever, right? And then you get to a point where I don't want to do this. I'm not saying you don't want to do this, but you should have figured out what's happening there by now. So I don't want my clients to need me forever. Right? I love my daughter, my only child, and I'll be so sad one day when she's not living with me. She's only 17, so we're not going to push her out. But I'm going to miss her. But I'm going to know that I sent her out into the world with all the skills and knowledge that she needed. And that's why with my clients, whether it's just the one-on-one talks to talk about mindset and stuff around food, whether it's they give me all the medical stuff because I actually read the blood work and I know how to do all these things and help them get off their meds or avoid the meds. Or even personal training. Some people will train with me forever because it keeps them accountable and I'll do it as long as I'm here doing it. But for everyone else, it's I want you to fly out the nest, right? And your doctor should do that too.
They should want that for you.
They should want that for you. So if you feel like the MDs are the only way, find one that doesn't want you on a medication for more than the short amount of time it should take to fix a problem. And then send you on your way with good nutrition and mindset and don't need them.
Exactly. That's a good doctor. If he says, hey, I'm hoping that I never have to truly see you.
Yeah. Hope I never see you again. Me too. Hashtag me too. I don't know do that. Let's see what I did there. Always doing stuff like that. I'm a mess. All right. That's it. Anyone who's watching this that felt burned because they're a trainer, you might want to be introspective. Yeah. Take a look inside.
Absolutely. So, and I'm gonna send a very quick shout out to a CrossFit coach down in Gilroy, West Piat. He had mentioned that on one of his Instagram posts recently that being a coach is a calling. It's not a side hustle. It isn't something that you just end up fucking doing and making ends meet. There's too much. You have too much of a role in an individual's life for it to be half-assed.
You can't.
You just can't. You can't fucking, and you're just going to be cashing your own bad check of giving out terrible service, which you may not know, but you're throwing a boomerang. It's going to come back to you soon. You don't want that type of.
Yeah. Weston's a good guy. He was one of the guys in my level 1 too. Like us. Yes. All right, let's wrap it up. Episode 43 in the books. Keep it classy and keep it consistent.
There we go.
Until next time.
Till next time.